Footy.tv.
Good afternoon, welcome to the fourth game of the day, day two, Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships. We have a pre-quarter. We have Hello Newman versus Krank out of Woolongong. So Hello Newman went down to Monstars, Krank went down to Paradigm, giving Krank the third position and Hello Newman their second position in their pools. First goes straight through to the quarters. These guys have to play off in a pre-quarter. And we've got a little delay to the game. Krank a little bit late to the party. Their game ended not too long ago, so they haven't had a chance to warm up or warm down. They're jumping straight into it. It looks like Hello Newman will be receiving to the right of screen. There is a little bit of breeze around this afternoon. I'll tell you which way it's going, but it changes about every 5 minutes. At the moment, it's going from left to right, slightly over the camera, so away from you. And we're going to be joined today by a man who says a lot, knows a little, but says a lot, Chris Stevens. Good afternoon, Chris. How are you?
Afternoon, Moz. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. Thanks for having me along.
No worries. All right. So, Hello Newman will be receiving the first pull. Going to let it land, decent pull, bounces around Hudson. Has time to do a 360, gets it over to Grundy. Grundy, nice little backhand through to Castrogano. Castrogano looks, he loads, he doesn't, he fakes the backhand. Hudson moves out into the fat side, dishes the backhand, so he's half a look, but Grundy is okay with it. Now hits that's Jody Palmer, sorry. Jody Palmer over to T-Cass, nice bid, keeps the disc alive. T-Cass on the sideline now. Hudson sitting well back for the dump, secures a safe dump back. Grundy makes a half a cut out, half a cut in, goes out, manages to get the swing. Castrogano continuing to work hard, gets it on this close sideline, on the home sideline. Hudson goes, but it's covered. Tony, lovely break into the middle of the stack. That's DK now with it, but there was a pick call. I think DK's going to get to keep it. Grundy wants to have a chat. He's going to ask, what the case Greff will be putting forward, I imagine, Boo-Boo, is that Grundy saying, would that have mattered, because I was the one that caught it.
I would agree, Moz, and it didn't seem to affect play to me, and that's how it's turned out. Excellent.
So Greff's going to take it. Nice, low, air bounce backhand, but Tony didn't keep running. It was a little bit too far from him. Was that on Tony or Greff?
Always on the thrower.
Yes, we like to cast blame here, Boo-Boo. That's how we roll. So, Krank are going to get a shot at breaking in the first point of the game.
Oh.
And Krank shoot quick. DK's got to sit. He gets just in front of his opponent, who was James Fletcher. And DK now moves it, gets it to Castrogano. Castrogano, nice, weighted backhand to Grundy. Grundy looks, Grundy sends the backhand. He's sent it up to Hudson. He has two to deal with. Hudson's got an all right set. It goes over the top of his head. He drops it.
Probably should have caught that one, Krank.
I would imagine so. So Mark Fulford going to the disc. He'll be marked by Jeffrey Grundy. Looks like a horror, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, isolating Rosie, as you'd expect.
Thornton gets in the lane, forces it. And Fulford pulls it. and it's going to be right on the line. It is out of bounds, but it stayed in for a decent portion of it. Our mate Ruben will tell us that it's about... Oh, it's at the cone.
Interesting fact about Mark Fulford, he throws his flick with 3 fingers rather than 2 inside the disc.
Maybe he probably should throw it with 2 from now on if you can't land it in bounds.
I think he's been doing it for about 20 years, so it's hard to change those sort of things.
So nice little bid from Tony Castragano here. Had to amend his running at the last minute. So David Knight comes in, brings it in. He's a good metre in from the cone too. There's Deeks. Pops it up. Nice grab from Molly Valancourt. Gets it through to Jodie Palmer. Palmer keeps the flow to Castragano, who jacks a flick, and that's got a lot on it. Hudson has the sit. Hudson is not milking it in. Takes it to the end zone line. Hudson in the bucket hat. Throws an absolute turn of a flick, but I think it comes off. There's an up call from his opponent. There's an up call from the advisor. Got the first goal of the game. Hello, Newman.
Cron should be giving DK a pat in the back for that one.
Cron's got his, yeah, he knows. He says, that's putrid, that's pus. To be fair, nice run from Cron, but yeah, less a convincing flick to finish it off.
That's right.
Great put from Tony. Had a solid amount on it.
Bit of a tired-looking first point. Moz,
It was a little bit, yeah. I mean, both teams coming straight off a loss. Oh, sorry, off a game.
Both come off a loss. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they did actually, yeah. Yeah, well done, DK.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, there'll be froths on offer from Cron to DK tonight, you'd imagine, for that. You looking around for your kids, Boo Boo? Is that what you're looking around for, or you lost them again?
I'm just checking the flags. It's pretty. The 3 flags are all pointing different directions here.
Oh, you got no chance.
Yeah, very blustery.
No chance of working it out.
I think Krank are essentially going upwind though, right?
I think they are. All right, this goes up. Nice, high, big pull. That looks like a one from Greff or from Locko Wise.
Lucky Wise it was. Got the zone on.
And it's a zone look, is it?
Newman, yeah.
This is the man with the 3-finger flick grip, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Brings it out over to Gemma Coleman. Gemma back to Fulford. Fulford over Putzka again. Nice bit of flow through. Looks at Holly Tupper, who was very prolific in the game yesterday as the handler, as the rock handler, resetting it. Over to Gemma Coleman. Now sitting with Holly. Continuing to move it through. Mark Fulford. Around, continues to move it through. They haven't collapsed. I don't know if they've collapsed back into a man. No, they maintain the zone, but it's loosening up a little bit. They're starting to lose their shape. So not in match coverage yet, still maintaining the zone. Tupper. Through to Rosie. Rosie, nice, wide, open stance, gets the goal. Hello, Newman, failing to really exert any kind of pressure. They did slow things up towards the brick mark there, but it wasn't the most convincing zone in the world. No,
I'm not sure zone's the best option at the moment. The wind has died, and Tupper, Coleman and Fulford more than capable of keeping that disc alive. Keep it moving.
So you may see some more match defense rather than the zone from Hello Newman from now on. That one wasn't entirely convincing. One all. Have you found the most of the game so far? Booba, you had a chance to get around, or have you mainly been on parenting duties?
Mostly parenting duties, but I got to see F Troop quite a bit yesterday, which is where Liz is playing. Who Liz is playing with.
And do we know in the draw who they play yet? The winner of the other game, I'd imagine, or this game?
No, they qualified, didn't have to play this afternoon. I'll tell you a bit about it after the pointing fight.
Thank you, Boo Boo. All right, Locko Wise with it. Looking to TCAS, and Meehan's gone. TCAS doesn't want to put it. Holsters elects to go underpass to Cron, and Cron then puts it to Ash Thornton. Nice put. Ash runs on. Tony's going to be there first. Does a little goosey, gives a little goose step action. Throws it to Will. Will not marked. Will can hit Lyra, and that's a pretty convincing offensive set there from Hello Newman. Options both under and deep.
Very nice throw by Hudson then. Didn't try to put too much on it. Opened up the whole field.
Good cut from Ash Thornton as well.
Yes, very much.
So tell us about the draw. What does it mean from here? Not everyone's caught up. There's been a couple of recent results, so people don't know. Even people in the teams don't know who they're playing.
That seems to be the case. I believe F Troop and Monstars have both qualified, and they're up into the quarters tomorrow playing whoever finishes 3rd and 4th in the top pool. And Burley Griffins and Hills Youth plus Joe are now out and in the bottom 8. So these guys here, this is do or die, playing to get in the top half. It's been told that Funsky and VLS are the 3rd and 4th place teams in that top pool, so they'll be playing F Troop and Monstars. Not sure which way it's going to go yet.
All right, and we're good to go. Lock and Wise winding up for a brick. I mean a pull. Here he goes. Looks pretty safe. Nice outside in. It's going to land. It's going to be a challenging one for Putzka, but holds it. Not entirely convincing, but does enough. Does a good job. Who's looked at Gemma.
Playing man this time.
Anthony, match coverage here for Hello Newman. Learn their lesson from the zone. Anthony Brand let the count get reasonably high before hitting Fulford. Mark Fulford, sorry. Holly comes under. Anthony Brand gets the easy under. Back to Fulford. Fulford then puts a little bit on it, and that's what's going to happen in that wind. You give any lip to the disc, it's going to get you. So now Hudson. No players really forward except for one. And Will can't hit them. Rosie Dawson. That's probably not someone you want to throw deep on. Gemma Coleman advances it up. Rosie manages to keep it there. Putzka looked off. Rosie gets it back into the middle. Now to PV. Alex Pentney-Vran to Fulford. Fulford flick. Keeps things going. Gemma Coleman unleashes the flick bomb. Putzka's there. Moves it over for the goal. It's not that we don't like number 6. We just don't know his name. He's not on the team sheet. So we'll jump on that. I'll work out what's going on there. But he's caught enough disc for us to worry about him, Boober. I was hoping we could get away with that. Thought, oh, maybe he's not going to feature too much, but he's done enough now. I'll have to get his name.
He certainly has. He's got enough of the disc, that's for sure. Well, Helen Newman forced the turn then, but threw it straight away to Rosie Dawson picked it off quite easily, and then they work it down for the score.
Credit to James Nichols, who is number 6.
Put him in the spreadsheet, shall we?
Now in the system. All right, Nichols. All right, computer says yes now for James Nichols.
Excellent.
Conditions have been beautiful today, getting a little bit chilly now, especially with that wind kicking in, Boober. There's a bit of cloud coverage starting to come over.
Yeah, as the sun's getting down, you can feel it. Probably good for these teams because they would have been pretty hot in the last game.
Yep. This is their, is it the 3rd or 4th game today for these guys?
4th game today.
4 games in a day.
Yep.
That's brutal.
It is, but they were 10 minutes between the last one and this one, around about.
So Hello Newman, I mean, they're both running reasonably short rosters. Locko Wise came down today, so he's the one full of beans. He throws a flick, again shows a little bit of the lip. Calaviotis does well, uses his body, and then unleashes a bomb, and that's to Thornton again. Thornton got a great set, grabs it. It was a nice bid there by Gemma Coleman and stayed close, but Calaviotis' goal. Sorry, his throw was good enough to secure the goal.
Yep, and Thornton making himself a good target again.
That's twice Thornton's gone deep and has been honoured, so Crank's going to have to start honouring these long cuts.
That's right.
As we mentioned, Krank running a short squad. I think they've only got about, oh look, they've got a few on their team. They've got about 15, 16. But Hello Newman deliberately coming in with a short squad at the request of Timothy Wise. And what do you think happens to Tim Wise?
I can't see him here, Moss.
Can't see him. You know where he is?
I have no idea.
He's in hospital. Special thoughts to Tim Wise, who ruptured his kidney in the game yesterday.
Well, look, Tim's gone to a lot of effort to come up with excuses in the past, so...
Here's one more.
Yeah.
No, we wanted to run short lines, but unfortunately we have had a couple of injuries on Hello Newman. One to Georgia Egan Griffiths, who's out for the tournament. And Timothy Wise, who's resting up. Special shout out to you, Tim. We're thinking of you.
Get well soon, Tim.
In positive news, he has just advised me that he went to the bathroom and things were working a lot better than they were this time yesterday. I'm not going to go into too much more explicit detail than that. But Wisey, we hope you get better soon. So,
glad to hear it.
In the meantime, his brother or Paul would have been outside in and it'll land in. Putzgar gets behind it, manages to stop it. Gets to Mark Fulford, who throws to Tupper. Tupper looks to go. Mark Fulford went in and he had three poppers, three in the fence to deal with. Back to Tupper. Sorry, for Tupper to Fulford. Goes upstairs, hits Putzgar. And then hits our new main man, James Nichols. Putzgar, who goes the outside in backhand. Wise and Greff both baited that one and neither one of them could get it. Instead, it was Helen Jones who got it and she swung it to Anthony Pentony Van. Now to Mark Fulford. Back to PV. PV looks to flick down the side, but Fulford's in there. The Hello Newman Cup playing very loose. And then there's a bit of a speculative throw, but it makes it okay.
Mr. Nichols.
Mr. Nichols again. I'm very glad I got his name down. So, staying on serve, 3-2. Or is it? Is that right, 3-2? We think it's threes, actually.
Three, 3-2 according to the scoreboard. 3-0. Moz has just run off to take a quick toilet break, left me with the reins. It is 3-all, going with serve. A few turnovers, but no one able to take advantage. Aidan McCabe has the disc, getting ready to pull. Quite a flat pull, pretty long. Taken easy by DK. Over to Hudson and back to DK. Looks like Krank have got the zone on this time. Calaviotis. Over to Palmer. No trouble getting it to about the halfway mark. They've gone to man. Krank, it looks like. Yes, they have. Dawson tries to poach but misses it. In fact, I don't think she's marking anyone. Yes, she goes. No, she's just standing in the middle. Great throw by Calaviotis. Up high. Yeah, out the back though. Too much wheat bix. And Moz is back.
Hello.
Feel better?
Needed a brief comfort break. Thank you, everyone. Calaviotis winds up with the backhand. He's been hitting the gym too much, as per. It's it out the back. I've always said Toffel would be great if he played AUDL, because the amount of times he puts it in the back of an end zone. If the end zone had 5 more metres,
yeah,
perfect. 100 more goals. So, there's an out call here by Calaviotis. Or it's a foul, is it?
Yeah. Foul call by the game advisor.
And we've had another turn. Jody Palmer gets in. Kieran Hudson, he reaches out but drops it. Up, goes upstairs. High release flick. Backhand, sorry. Kieran marking the dump. A lot of flow going through. It's now with Aiden McCabe. Aiden McCabe to Rosie Dawson. Rosie goes outside with the flick. And caught again by yet another player we do not have on the team sheet. But it's not in. Back to Rosie. And there's a turn. So Helen Newman going to get another crack here to keep it on serve. David Knight going to the disc. And he's brought it in, and the Hello Newman just stand there staring at DK when he probably would have rather to cut. So DK goes lefty backhand to Hudson. Hudson back to DK. Did the right thing. Thornton's sitting deep, but she's very deep. Now Palmer has it and enables Thornton to get a great under. Dawson tried to poach but couldn't grab it. Almost tries to get back into it again. Jody Palmer to Kieran Hudson. Now there's Will Christopherson. He can't get it. It's too wide on the break side. So Hudson gets it to Calaviotis, who's working really hard. Calaviotis looks towards Newman. And then Calaviotis goes this time with the inside-out backhand. It's going to die on Hudson, but he manages to get it, and that would be a goal. Not that you'd know it. Everyone's just spending it too buggered to give a rat's. Hello Newman are sore and tired.
Luckily for them, so are Krank.
Yep.
I reckon Dawson had a bit on just about every throw that time then.
Looked like it just on the replay. Calaviotis learned his lesson this time.
She gets in a little bit.
And then sits it up a little bit more.
Just found out who number 33 is for Krank, Chris Thorne. We will credit him with the turnover, I think, in that last one.
Yeah, he's thrilled, conversely, that we've learned his name, because now we can stick him.
That's right. Still need to find out number 20, Moz, just as a matter of interest.
Did you start on D? You started on O. All right, so it remains on serve. And we're still looking for 20, are we? We've still got one more missing.
Mm-hmm. I'll go do that for you.
Thank you, Boo-Boo. Looks like Krank added 30 people to their team list before, in between now and yesterday when they last handed their team sheet in. All right, disc is in. Putka over to James Nichols. Nichols holds. Looks like a bit of a straight up force. Greff almost gets a sniff on that. Comes over to Helen Jones. Helen into Holly Tupper. Yeah, it does look like a straight up force. Very aggressive force. Nichols tries to get it. Bopel's through his hand. Greff's going to pick it up. Locko Wise is running. Locko Wise throws the floaty backhand. Easy as you like. There's a break to Hello Newman. Locko Wise to Tony Castragano, who gives the Frisbee a kick. U-Tool. So, very aggressive mark. Just bobs out of Nichols' hands. So now he's not so glad we know his name, Boo-Boo.
That's right. He's under a bit of pressure then, I have to say.
He was, and it's hard because that's a very short throw. You don't have a lot of time. He's kind of 3 to 5 metres away. He's not being able to really read it into his hands.
That's right. Not a lot of spin on it either, and it's pretty windy.
So what kind of capacity are you down here, Boo-Boo? You're coaching. You've got a little bit of advising duty.
I'm here helping out you commentating, possibly doing some game advising, but mostly...
Say helping out, but anyway, yeah, keep going.
You're right. Mostly just looking after the kids while Liz plays.
Playing for F Troop.
She is.
They've done all right.
They've done all right.
What happened to the Hills game? That was close.
Yeah, another Universe point one. They lost this one. I think they're 2-2 for the weekend.
All right. Credit to Hills. They've had they're out now anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, the game was dead. It was a dead rubber, but both teams still wanted to win.
Very good. And what's going on in your Frisbee future, Boo? Obviously, you're not playing because you're 100, but any more dingoes selecting or something to that effect.
Yet to be known, yet to be known.
I'm sure you'll weasel your way in somewhere. All right, back live. Gemma Coleman with the disc. Krank coming out of a vertical. She tries to engage her dump now, looks back downfield. Katie Newman going absolutely batshit mental on the mark. Kieran Hudson, they get the turn, which is the important thing. Christopherson called on a little travel, manages to get it up the line to Locko Wise. Locko fakes the hammer, then goes with the backhand to Calaviotis. Calaviotis with a chance now to make it a double break for Newman. Calaviotis is a metre out from the end zone. Looks at the flick, doesn't want it, decides to go up the line to Lockie Wise. Lockie Wise wasn't in, goes back, puts 1 foot on the line, throws it over to the top to Palmer in the unconventional way that only Locko Wise can.
Good heads up by Lockie. Didn't wait for the call, just went back and passed it.
Real intensity on the mark.
Yeah, I think
Newman. It wasn't the most eloquent way I've said that, but it was real intensity. There's a deliberate thing. They're starting to get some high counts, you can tell.
Yeah, I think they've deliberately increased their intensity, which is you only need a little bit in a game like this where everyone's a bit tired and you start to get some points.
(3-6). Hello Newman jump out, double break.
Happened quickly.
Well, they wouldn't want this to be going. They wouldn't want to grind because the more this grinds on, they've got 8 odd players.
That's right. And they're going to have a tough game tomorrow morning if they win it. So.
Do we know who that game will be against?
No, it was either BLS or Funsky. We're not.
Right.
Oh no, it'll be the other two. It'll be either Marikai or the other one. Marikai or Frisky, I believe they'll be playing.
Right. Have you observed yet? Sorry, advised yet?
No, I haven't. They've got they've probably got enough game advisors that I won't need to. Game advisors is actually quite difficult to do when you haven't had much practice. So unlike commentating, clearly.
Yes, which is clearly natural.
Yeah, only.
So Fulford sitting on it. They're having a little bit of trouble now, aren't they, Krank?
Yeah, definitely.
Getting much flow in their offense.
Yeah. Helen Newman decided to display a hard man. Put the pressure on,
Brandon
make the throws.
McCabe, they let the pressure valve off there a little bit, letting James Nichols out. Now to Mark Fulford, but the stack's playing quite deep, and even the dump is a little bit far away, and Fulford knows it, manages to move it forward to Chantel Ferguson. Now they're starting to advance it up, but they're still cramming it down that sideline. There's not a lot going on over the big side of the field towards the commentary side. But they're still doing it. They're managing to do it, and now it's gone up. So Fulford, Brand, Locko Wise gets up first. Was the meat and the sandwich, but managed to get up early, not let Brand come from deep, and this is going absolutely every day of the week. Castrogano takes a little hanger. Had to go. Nichols went in front of him. Castrogano elected to stay back. It was the right choice. And Grundy calls the timeout to the relief of his very fatigued teammates.
Not very convincing offense by Krank then, but they look like they're almost going to score. That last throw, right?
If you were in Krank's circle now, what would you be telling them?
They just got to put how tired they are behind them and just lift that intensity, because their defense, you can just see the difference between the defense between them and Hello Newman. It's a great catch by.
It was a little bit of hang time from TCAS.
Yeah. Yeah, Nichols got close, but
he did. Yeah, it was a nice bid.
Didn't read it quite as well.
And for Hello Newman, what do you reckon the message is from? I'd imagine it'd be Greff doing a lot of that talking.
Yeah, maybe that circle that would be the case.
Oh, it's not DK. We'll put it that way.
That's for sure.
What do you think the message from Hello Newman is?
Oh, look, they're all tired. You just want to. You got to get the balance between trying to score it too quickly, but making too many passes. I reckon they'll be trying to get a couple of decent passes in to get in a good position.
Toffer.
Further goal.
3-6. All right, coming back in from the timeout. Looks like Hello Newman will be setting up in a Horo. Is that right?
It's isolation, I think.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, isolated Palmer, is it? Can't see who that is there in my position.
Interesting for a team that hasn't had one single team training to start running set plays. Pentony Brand marking Grundy. And as Boo Boo said, they're sitting Palmer out in the lane. Should be marked by Helen Jones.
Someone poached off
Palmer
the back,
goes,
helping out.
Yep.
Tony's got the under for that.
Very nice. Worked it well, not bad, a set play. DK has it, calls for it, and that's a goal, 7-3. TCAS gives a bit of a strut and DK gives a dab. Neither of which are celebrations I'm big on, to be perfectly frank.
At least they got smiles on their face now, unlike the first 4 or 5 points.
They do, and conversely, Krank need to up their mood a little bit.
Set play
Lovely
worked.
throw.
That set play worked very well, Moss.
Yeah, it did. Maybe that's the trick, Boo Boo. Maybe you just never don't train. I'll be up for that. Save all the energy, save all the thinking for the actual games, for the tournaments.
Possibly the teams in the top 4 pool would think a little differently, Moss.
Maybe. So we're going to get some scores from around the grounds in a moment. Work out what's going in the Paradigm versus CAF game.
Only one other game, Moss, and that's it.
7-3 CAF. So Paradigm might be making an early exit. 7-3. 7-3 here. 7-3 in both games. Makes it easy.
Does.
Locko Wise again with the pull. So far he's been all right today. There's Locko.
Another good one.
That's another good one. Anthony Brand gets it in the axis position. Hudson will mark him. Rosie goes first. Jodie Palmer does a good job shutting that first cut down. Putka then sends it to to Rosie, and Rosie's just that quick. Not a goal. A lot of people around the disc now. But that is as easy as you like. It was my Chris Thorne with the grab there.
I think
exceptional work from Rosie.
It was. I think she was a bit late reading.
Out of it.
A bit late reading it, to be honest, and then she quick enough to catch it up.
Yeah. Is she the quickest player in the female frisbee
in Australia?
Yeah,
I would think so. I don't know for sure. I don't have any stats to back that up. Purely me watching people.
Yeah. She's done well. She's well out of that one. So yeah, you see the throw go. And she's just turned there. She's just turned at that point and managed to grab it. Wasn't sure if she was in, came back.
Nice and settled as well, hey?
Yeah.
Which you'd expect from someone that experienced.
Highly rated amongst her, her international rep teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So World Club's coming up. Chris, any coaching plans, designs? Are you going to be going to Cincinnati?
No, I'm not going to Cincinnati at all. Or Winnipeg, for that matter. First time I think clubs has been separated with the Masters division.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, separated from the others.
Right. Why is that? Just were they complaining about the late parties? Were they
too big? The tournament's got too big.
Grundy over to Knight. Now Junk look with full foot on the mark. Big, perfect hammer from Knight to Castigrano. Now Castigrano, we got Knight on the other side now with a hammer, and Castigrano might do it. He doesn't. Elects to play it safe. Throws to Valancourt. Valancourt back to Castigrano. Castigrano, it's collapsed into a match defense now. To Grundy. Grundy wants the backhand, throws the around backhand to Castigrano, and that's a goal, and that's half. So hello Newman having it their way for the first half. And he's walking into goal and drills it. Turkey. All right. So we'll get a quick score from the other game before talking about that first half.
Still 7-3 there?
7-3. Paradigm needing something to change. Exert some pressure on their defense. We'll have a look at some highlights of the first half. That, of course, the last goal of the first half. Tony calls for the lead before walking in and giving it a kick. Team's talking through half-time. What a Krank need to change, Boo Boo. I know we talked about it at the timeout, but clearly whatever they tried didn't work. 3-8 is the score. Or 4-8.
Yeah, it should be 4-8 actually. Yeah,
I think
so
they
did get a score. Yeah, I think what they did with isolating Dawson deep, they set that up pretty well by getting her to do the first in cut and then go deep. Look, she's probably the best player on the park, so they're going to have to start trying to use her as much as possible, and then make Hello Newman do something about it. Looks
like Hello Newman are throwing a bit more of a junk than the match defence to limit Rosie. They know that there are a couple of jet players, Rosie probably being the foremost of them. How would you adjust on their zone offence?
Well, at the start of the game, they seemed fairly comfortable with it, didn't they? I feel like they've maybe changed the lineup, the handle the lineup a little bit. So the three who at the start seemed very comfortable, and I don't think I've seen those three handling again. So that helps. Bit of familiarity, good skills on those three: Tupper, Coleman, and Fulford. But I mean, the wind's really died now, huh? So a few of those overheads come into play. So
yep, wind almost non-existent now.
Happened quickly as well.
And it's also that lack of wind has actually also opened up Hello Newman's long game. We saw a couple of shots just then. Thornton got deep a couple of times. Obviously, we saw Rosie for Krank get deep. But between the overhead hammer shots and some of the longer puts, you know, we're definitely seeing a bit more. And these teams are both teams that would like to shoot. Calaviotis one there, shot it. I think this was the one that landed in. It was.
Yep,
this was another one to Thornton.
Yeah, the overheads are definitely coming into play now, and you've seen Newman, they've got a little bit more skill in that area, and they've put up a couple of really big ones to advantage. Opens everything up.
That said, we know Hello Newman running the shorter roster, a much shorter roster with both Wise and Egan Griffiths out, so if Krank aren't rating themselves as a shot, they should beat.
Yep, and they should be.
Especially if they can turn it into a scrap.
And they should be trying to play a bit of man, I reckon, and lift the intensity. Get a few blocks.
It's a lovely throw from Rosie there for one of those goals. One of their 4.
This is a nice throw, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was Calaviotis' second shot at the inside-out backhand to Hudson. It was a very nice shot. Floats over to the break side. He did well to move his marker. His marker came back a fair bit on him when he faked that flick, thinking that he wanted the dump. Just opened up a really nice inside out. And this was this was kind of a microcosm of the larger game, where there was a small turn, pretty innocuous, but one team switched onto it, and the other team sat and looked at the disc.
That's right.
Back to Locko Wise, his unusual style.
Yes.
What's your take on Locko Wise? I mean, you were a selector, I think, in the year of his first dingo selection. Was that right?
Most likely.
You can pump yourself up here, Boo Boo. Don't worry about it.
Dingo selection, did you say? I don't think he's ever been a dingo, Lockie.
He
was a croc.
Sorry,
Barramundi and a croc, I believe.
Barramundi, that's right. And a croc. Did you pick him for crocs? Were you a crocs?
Yeah, I was a croc selector. Yes,
that's right.
Yes, we did. Yes.
What's your take?
He has an amazing ability to do things that you aren't expecting.
I think that goes both ways, doesn't it?
yeah. And look, he's a high risk player, but he does a lot of amazing things. And
the best of him is better than the worst of him.
Yes, that's right. And I think early on that probably wasn't the case, but as he's got a bit older and improved, it's now definitely the opposite. His best is great.
And given that you have an inside word on Mark Fulford, were you the one that taught him how to throw with 3 fingers? Was that part of your expert coaching?
I certainly did not. Mark had been playing in Sheffield over in the UK a long time before I met him, so someone else to blame for that one.
Right, and no Tim Booth for this game. Can you let us know, has he been suspended again from any frisbee?
Certainly hasn't, and I don't know why he's not here. He does a fair bit with the Wollongong Ultimate down there, so I'm surprised he's not here. Maybe Hobart was just a bit too far this time. He's got a family, and sometimes you have to prioritise family sometimes.
Well, he does get a fair bit of time off.
You'll find out about that one day, maybe.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But he does get a bit of time off. I've seen shots from him on Facebook, rock climbing, surfing. Emma Booth is a very, very patient and caring woman.
He keeps very busy, Tim. So yeah, maybe he decided.
Yep.
This was one he could miss.
Just one he could let go.
Yep.
Well, his team wouldn't be thinking that right now. I'm sure they wouldn't mind having another set of hands on the field. The wind was perfectly still during the half, but now it's kicked up just a little bit. It's a crosswind coming from over the camera. Pentony Brown gets up over Grundy. Looks to swing it through, hits Aiden McCabe. McCabe looking for the flick. Greff has a look at it, but really nice work from Anna Fulford to keep it alive. Then to Rosie, to Alex Pentony-Vran, back to Rosie, to Pentony-Vran again. Pentony-Vran, back to Holly. Rosie's free, but stopped running. TCAS got in the way there, looked to get up for the D, but it ended up hitting the ground. So, again, this is what we've seen in the first half. On the turn, Hello Newman came out ready to play, and Krank were a little bit slow, and they're still slow to match up. We've got TCAS, goes upstairs, little dish pass to Greff. And Greff winds up a long one to Lira on Rosie. Good matchup. Beats them both. Died late. Greff with his head down, rightly so. No good. You know, I mean, it was good that Krank locked down, but the fact that the first 2 or 3 passes, there was coverage. You know, there was separation of 2 to 3 metres on the Hello Newman players, and they weren't hammering it either.
No, they're taking a little bit longer. Just a bit more disappointed with the turnover, and not switched on to play D.
Christopherson on the mark. Rosie gets it off Fulford. Dump goes up the line, not on it. Back to Fulford. Now to James Nichols. James Nichols stops. Props, goes to PV. PV back to Fulford. Fulford lefty backhand over the top of Christopherson. And now there's a long shot. It's going to James Nichols. He's not in. Castrogano's going to start the count on him. Right in the corner. Nichols goes to Rosie. Rosie's got the separation. Rosie just too quick. Up in front. Man saw that she could help, but knew it was too late at that point. And there's a little bit of vibe coming out of Krank.
Yeah,
well done.
they look excited.
Look at this. A little bit of chat.
That's what we like to see. First point after the half.
Yep.
Upwinder as such, even though it's a cross breeze now, I think.
Oh, now I know why Mike Palmer's replaying this. Aiden McCabe has got his flybys card. Nice big travel on the back of the foot. One of those ones, because you didn't have a mark on as such, you go, oh, did it make a big difference? But the easy way to not get called for it is not do it.
It's a great effort by Dawson. It's second half of the 4th game of the day. It's nothing worse than catching the disc just outside the end zone, having no one backing you up.
Yep.
And there she was.
Yep. Did the hard run. $5-8. Krank, keep it doable. Big point here. 6-8 versus 5-9. Very different situations. And the pull goes up, and that's different. It's probably the best thing I could say about it. I think we'll take that from the sideline. I think it was Putzka. I just don't think got the shape right. But they are going to take the brick. Probably the more sensible. They're only giving up probably 3 metres to take it from the middle. It's sitting someone very deep. That's Mandy Lee sitting very deep in the stack. Pretty disorganised kind of stack. Hudson goes deep on Putzka, not honoured. Locko Wise looking to get the dump back from Palmer. Gets it, again, unconventionally.
Better D here by Krank.
Yeah, locked down. Calaviotis goes up the line, gets a nice up the line, and he can hit Newman. Hello, Newman. Didn't catch it in the end zone, has to take it back. Bring it forward, Molly Valancourt goes through, can't get it. David Knight goes in, gets the dump, and then Newman finishes it off. Should have just run the extra metre before she caught it, but instead does it the hard way, catches the goal. And Hello Newman, make it 5-9. Probably the best team name here. I'd say if you can name your team after a player and get a Seinfeld pun, you're all right with me. What do you reckon, Boo Boo?
Oh, look, it's not bad. Not bad. I don't know all the team names, I have to say.
Talk us through F Troop. What's the story there, do you know?
Yeah, I know. I have no idea.
Right.
None at all. There was an old TV show back when I was a kid, which is a while ago, I think, called F Troop.
Right.
But I can't imagine any of those guys.
Black and white, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, a couple of strange names this year. Meraki, no idea what that means.
No.
Paradigm. Not entirely sure. So we might get Carlos to explain. Give us 1 second. What's Meraki mean? Right. So we've just had a chat with one of the Meraki players who's let us know that it is to speak with passion and love.
No, there's inspirational team
It's
names.
Greek. So it's different. I'm still going to stick with Hello Newman. Yes, it was named by Carlos and Laura, so they, you know, the racial inference there was that it would be Colombian. It's not. It's Greek. So just check your unconscious bias, everyone. Mark Fulford gets it. Krank coming out in a vertical. Looks to hit Nichols, gets him. Oh. And then he has a nice big travel on his backhand. James Nichols hits Chris Thorne. He's now outside the end zone. So seeing a few of these situations here where players are catching it just outside the end zone. This time Rosie's got it. Liraman gets back into the away force. And then there's a flick break. Really nice flick break by Gemma Coleman. She hits Chris Thorne. Scores the goal. 6-9, keeps Krank in touch. And now...
Game's open up a bit, I think.
Now they are loving themselves a bit. They're getting into the game advisor work.
A few more successful deep shots by them, though, isn't it?
A little bit more in the style of Booney when he was on the outer, just waiting for the advisor to go up. They'll go up with him. Ruben wouldn't mind that. If people are using the signs, he's a big fan of that. Just use the sign. They're using the signs, Ruben.
Yeah, it's a nice
Good
break by Coleman.
Yep. Good inside break.
Hard to stop that in your defender.
Yep.
A little bit of passion in the faces of the Krank guys on the sideline now. This is good. They're only 3 points down. It's not many.
No, it's not many.
Easy to catch up.
All right, Krank coming in. Big pull again. Different looking pull. It's going to come in straight sideways. And hello, Newman.
Yep.
And there's a pick again. Lots of people using the signs, boo-boo.
Signalled well by the game advisors as well.
So we're just going to wait and have a...
Just waiting for the setup here.
Yep. Knight.
So
Being marked by Aidan McCabe.
1-2.
Knight to Wise. Wise back to Knight. Is that what you just called? The 1-2? And then DK, big throw, big hammer. Hudson does well. Sees Valancourt, sticks the nice flick up into space. That's very pretty. That's very nice.
It was a nice catch by Hudson.
Yep. He had a...
Get someone bearing down on him.
Had a player on him. Had to be good. Had James Fletcher coming in with heat. Managed to hold him off.
Use that big body.
They get a bit more separation. 10-6. They've got it on their terms. But with that shorter roster, they've got to continue running it out. Here's the give go. Well done by Knight as well to hold the body out, and then straight away spot out the hammer. Big gainer, good as a put, really.
Yep.
And then
nice little jag cut there by
Molly Valancourt.
Valancourt, yes.
So 6-10 the score. Hello Newman in control, but certainly not home by any means.
I'd like to have a step up a notch on this D. You can get a score here, 5-point break.
That changes the equation a bit. So Locko Wise, another good pull. Melbourne Juggernaut will be asking where that was all open season, but we'll just, yeah, we'll move on. Thornton marking Gemma. Coleman gets it. Over, look for it back. Oh, Calaviotis won it on Putzka. Eventually gets back to Fulford, who wears a bit of attention from Castigrano. Fulford over to Putzka. Putzka in the corner, then lets one go. So he's got
Nichols.
Greff and Locko against Nichols. Greff gets up, Grundy that is. Gets it over to Meehan. Meehan to Jody Palmer. Palmer flows it through, and again, on the turn, Hello Newman getting a lot of flow. Calaviotis wanted to go to Meehan, but she was already too deep. Then goes instead to Castigrano, who lets the hammer go over to Locko Wise, who scores the goal. That's exactly what Boo Boo was talking about. That's exactly what they wanted. 11-6. And again, I hate to bang on about it, but unless they change it, we will. The first 3, 4, 5 passes off the turn, not with a lot of defensive pressure from Krank. They drop their head, they get down. No one's doing the hard thing to try and reset and get a good mark on and shut down that first cut.
Hello Newman had a good defense on that initial crank setup. They know that Dawson's the person they're looking for, and they had I think it was Palmer playing deep on her, and as soon as she playing under on her, and then as soon as she went deep, there was somebody else hanging out the back. So, yep. Stopping that first pass to her.
Spot on, running a bracket on Rosie. Being fully prepared for it to open up another option. But shut down this first, see if they have a second. 7-5 on the other game. Ooh. So tightening up a little bit. It might, and it's Paradigm with the disc as well, so they might get it to 7-6 if they can hold their nerve. We'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, it looks like Locko Wise. Paradigm are shooting into the end zone and have caught it. It makes it 7-6 in that game. So,
exciting.
Without putting the Moz on Krank or on Hello Newman, if this game does end early, we will switch straight over to that game if it is still going. So, Locko Wise just lands it in, starting to test it now. Great run down by Calaviotis, but Fulford was sharp to it and managed to go up the line for the first cut. Now he's looking and he goes, he unleashes the backhand. That's to Gemma Coleman.
No, it's to Jones. Oh. Lee caught it.
Lee. Got a nice wide stance from Lee. Oh. And oh, here we go, Locko Wise. He said send it. He's got a big smile on his face. Calaviotis does it. He's got 2 to beat Lockie Wise, but he's got the pace. And he does the big long jump. The Jai Tarima into the end zone. He goes. PV has a chat to him and says, yes, I'm happy to call that one a goal. Hello Newman with the heads up. It's becoming a theme. It's their thing. They want to score quick on defense. On the turn for their defensive team.
Breaking the hearts of Krank then.
Yeah, here we go. Calaviotis. That's his second or third really nice backhand, inside-out backhand put.
Got his distance right now.
I think Locko just got that right. You reckon he was in the air?
Close enough.
We've seen some shockers this week. Down, down, down.
Whoa.
He's down. We should be seeing another throw.
I'm not sure he was in that one. I think maybe Mark Fulford should have contested that in.
Yeah.
Judging by the replay. It's all right. Mark's here watching it. He just missed the replay. You have to watch it when you get home, Mark.
Yeah, probably worth keeping an eye on his foot. It was still down. Was it still down? Very close, but still down.
We're very fair one.
Very, very good of Mark there to allow this. Locko Wise with the ball. Hasn't taken a point off in probably 6 months. Has Locko. And this one is OB. Well, it was just a matter of time, really, before we saw that. 6-12, Hello Newman. Suppose you'd rather it come out at 6-12 than 12 all.
Same setup on Dawson here. We've got
so who is it?
Palmer short and me and long. Doing it for everybody, it seems.
And it's forcing them into their second look,
yep,
and they don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Loco-wise, the unpredictable one. Tony Bid.
Ooh.
Missed it. Down. What was? How did you put it? He does things you wouldn't expect. I think that's how you said it. Hammer to an outcut. All right, so Gemma Coleman with the disc. Moves it across to Aiden McCabe. Aiden McCabe hits Rory Ferguson. McCabe gets led up the line by Loco-wise, and then he's going to let a backhand go. Perfect backhand, but I think it's just too far. Nichols is going to have to reel it in, but can't. Had it. His defender was gone. If he could run onto it, it would have been only his disc. But it was too far. Here's the hammer to the outcut. Castrigliano knew he'd have to go.
Short arm jab, really, wasn't it?
Oh, he did get a finger on it.
Yeah.
So Loco will say, if that's fair game, mate, that's on you. You can't catch a leading rim whilst horizontal.
Reminiscent of Tim Lavis at,
oh,
in Japan.
Oh, you had to go there, Boomer. 2012 dingoes all just shuttered around the country. Palmer to Thornton. Thornton being marked by Gemma. Back to Grundy. Grundy around flick, shows a little bit of air, but Castrigliano deals with it, and then Castrigliano puts an absolute Mrs. Max Pie into the end zone. Lockie Wise out of position, had no real chance, and between the two Krank defenders, that is a turn. Not Tony Castrigliano's finest throw, we'll put it that way. McCabe, nice, under.
Yep. Well,
it's James Nichols. Nichols wants to let it go, doesn't.
Holsters it.
Goes to Gemma. Coleman. Coleman, nice leading throw. Out. Dealt with well by Thorne, and then Thorne flicks the wide one. But it's a turn. Wind cranking back up. Oh, that's how I did it. You like? Oh, no. I apologise. Wind kicking up a little bit now. Grundy, so nice work by Thorne there to keep it, but then throws the flick. It caught that bit of air and sailed well over his defender's head. Castrigliano walking it back, strutting it back. Just enjoys the look of himself, I think, this tone. I think he'll be angling for the team to be named after him next Mixed Nats.
Bit of an honour, is it, I assume?
It is, of course it is. Back to Tony. Tony, nice gainer to Grundy. Grundy, and he's looking at Ash Thornton again. It does it. So this will be Ash Thornton's third long grab if she can get it. But Gemma Nichols gets in front. Nicely done. Gemma's got it. Catches. So now Krank have an opportunity to reset into their offense. That's McCabe. Inside. Hits Thorne. Thorne getting high. Nice shutdown on both dumps. And Tupper gets it inside. Goes the flick wide to Gemma. Gemma Coleman.
Whoa, that's a
nice throw and catches it deep. James Fletcher with the goal. Gemma Coleman been in the thick of it. She's done it both sides of the disc today.
Yeah.
One of the better players.
Oh, and does a
little roll. Not sure if you've got that, Fausto, but so I wouldn't call them acrobatics, but yeah, there are some rolls going on. Different, but keeping your spirits up is important. This is a weekend of fun. So they say. And we'll be attending the social event tonight. Remember?
Certainly not, Moz, no.
You didn't attend them when you were young, I wouldn't imagine. It's just not your bag. At home with a good book instead?
How young are we talking?
Was it the Prohibition era? Was it back in was that not why there were no parties? What's the best party? What's the best frisbee party you ever had?
First uni champs in '98.
Australian or?
Yeah, it was Australian uni champs before it was part of the uni games, and it was in Canberra, and there are 10 teams. And I think Leon Smith organised it, and we were at some leagues club in the city, and it was very good.
Very good.
That was back when I think you could buy a schooner of beer for less than $2.
Ah, very good. So I dropped a punt and you dropped it back in my day. Disc up. Hello Newman, pick it up, roll with it. Calaviotis, they sent 2 deep, but it looks like they're junk, so
They have.
Krank looking to slow things down. Calaviotis to Hudson, to Christopherson. Over to Knight, then goes inside to Calaviotis. Calaviotis rips one through the cup. Stunning throw. That's to Mabel Eldred. Mabel Eldred goes to throw to Newman, but it was a little bit wide.
She had the big arms of Pensiony Van to get around then.
Yep. Krank sending a different look, moving out of matched defense onto zone. Calaviotis, piercing throw through the cup. That's perfect.
Was.
And really nice positioning by Eldred as well as Castrogano to stay wide on the wing and keep...
Plenty of room.
Who was it there? I think that was Anna Fulford. Keep her out of the set. So, Putzgar unloads a very strange backhand to Pensiony Van. Then to Helen Jones. And Helen Jones, unfortunately, can't connect with Fulford. And once again, Hello Newman go for the quick start. Mabel Eldred moves it forward to Calaviotis. Calaviotis has Christopherson isolated. Hits him on the inside-out flick, but it had a little bit of heat, and Christopherson couldn't control it, even with that glove. That gloved Duke. Are you a glove guy?
As in, do I like wearing them, or do I think they should be allowed?
I'm gathering you don't wear them, then.
I definitely don't wear them.
Do you think they should be allowed?
Not sure.
Right. Lee, pivoting wide, pivoting low, gets it through, gets it over to Anna Fulford. Again, moving it down the sideline. Helen Jones.
Her sister.
Helen Jones, and there looks like there's a call. Deep, pretty deep stay, although they're going to come back now, are they?
Pit called, yeah. It was a while ago, I think.
All right, disc will stay with Jones. Eldred marking her. Fulford and Newman behind as one dump set. Pensiony Van and Calaviotis sitting kind of at the front of the stack, maybe as the other dump set.
He'll get out of there, Pensiony Van.
Yeah, you'd want him to. Fulford back, but a really nice dump mark from Mabel Eldred. They get it to Rosie. Rosie looks back. She wants to concede ground, decides not to, decides she wants to put it out. Oh, nice grab by Mark Fulford. Pensiony Van's now going. Wants to come around onto the break side. Knight gets around in time to protect the force. So they move it instead to Helen Jones. Fulford goes up the line. Castrogano was ready to bid. Mabel Eldred tries to stop the around, can't. Pensiony Van gets the sidearm flick break to Mark Fulford. Now they've got it on the side that they want. A lot of players with their hands up. They wanted to go upstairs. This is just raffle. Skyball one. Rosie composed. Well done from Fulford. Gets rid of Castrogano. Castrogano gets the mark on now, but Castrogano's doing it tough. Rosie throws it into the corner. Helen Jones grabs the goal. Exceptional work from Krank. They earned that one. They deserved it. They take it to 8-12.
Possibly with a sub Castrogano after that one. Fulford
He's on all fours.
Yeah.
You can see Tony. So Krank are doing forward flips, and Tony can't even walk off the field. But thankfully for Hello Newman that they are up. So maybe Tony can take a couple points off without the stakes getting too high.
Good jink by Fulford there.
Look at that. That's beautiful by Rosie. Really smart play.
Yep. Keeps it going.
Fulford could have thrown at her any time in between that. And meanwhile, in the other game, last time we left that game, it was 7-6.
Still 7-6.
Pleased to report it's still 7-6. And then now there's a wide crossfield. Well, it's been bobbled into the... We're about to see it go past 7-6 on the end zone line.
Oh, no.
Oh, Simon Smiley's turned it on the end zone line. And that tells you exactly why it's still 7-6, because they were 6 feet at 6 inches out from the end zone line. They couldn't finish it.
That was a good pressure. Back to this game was.
Yes.
Good pressure by Krank there. It was
good.
They were really stopping those dump throws. Helen Newman really forcing forwards, making it very difficult. And they kept hold of the disc, worked hard, able to get a score.
They sure were.
I'd hate to say that they were back in it, Krank, but I'd also hate to say they were completely out of it.
As an offside, but no one's calling. Team's happy to let it go. Grundy gets it to to what's his name?
Hudson. I'll introduce you later.
Oh, it's all right. Now, Toffanopoulos throws the flick, but it's gobbled up by Penalty Brown, who had to sit the whole time. Didn't give enough height towards Locko Wise. Now James Nichols with the disc. Nichols looks around McCabe, jumps around on him, but there's a call.
Foul signalled by the game advisor.
Foul signalled, uncontested. I don't think there was anything in it. Aiden McCabe had come through on the dump, so you see Gref only
just
eyes
following.
for...
Bit of a handout there.
Tried to, well, handout to stop the dump.
Sure.
Don't worry, I'd say if I'd have any excuse to pot Gref, I'd take it. But Tupper unluckily bumped up a little bit in the wind. Jody Palmer sprinted to get the goal, and once again, hello Newman running the quick goal. Penty ran, spent, said, Gref, if you want to grab that, it's all yours. It's a goal. And the only way we know this is that Ruben signalled that it's a goal. Neither team given us stuff that it's a goal.
There's a few low fives there, I can see.
And so Gref caught it, and then he just kind of popped it on the ground. Low key. Real low key.
Be glad to get home and have a bath, these guys today.
Yes.
Tonight?
Well, 4 games. What wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
8-6. So CAF scored that point to the heartbreak of Paradigm, who caught it on their end zone line after a bobbled hammer. The deep from CAF sat it up for Smiley, who thought that was obviously too unfair and decided to turn it over on the end zone line. 13-8.
Not much energy coming from the other field either, Moss.
Sorry? I'm sure he gave that throw the credit.
Yeah, I did mention that. Good to see the emotional intelligence of Chris Caliviotis, acutely aware of just how awful his... was that his backhand? It was a backhand put, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I just remember it was to Krank.
You want to repress it when it's that awful. Yes. So, 13-8. Krank needs to dig deep if there's any chance. Hello Newman just want to hold their composure. Locko Wise puts a really nice pull. This one will land in. It'll be close.
No.
It won't land in. Probably take it from the brick mark anyway. I don't think it went out too far past it.
Butchka's not hurrying, is he?
No. No one's told him about the 10-second. Was the 10-second rule apply to this? To walking it back to the brick mark?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Sorry, I've just been advised 20 seconds of the back of the end zone.
That's correct.
All right, so Putzka has it.
Zone.
Hudson on the mark in a 1-3-2-1. I'll tell you what. Oh,
upside down backhand, was that?
Yeah, spicy to McCabe. Back to Putzka. Putzka to Fulford.
Gonna go again?
It's the backhand.
It's going again, I think.
Yeah, he's flipping the disc around as if he is. Gemma. Back to Fulford. Fulford with it. Goes with that painted 3-finger flick. Gets it over to Aiden McCabe. Aiden looking into the sun. Doesn't matter. He's going to jack it to Gemma Coleman, but Locko Wise is going to beat her to it. And he looks around. And for the first time, to Krank's credit, they've locked down on that first throw. Really nice leading throw from Locko Wise. Jody Palmer catches it. Now Locko Wise with it again. He points. He wants someone deep, but Rosie's sitting deep. Now Mabel Eldred's gone, and she's grabbed it. That's excellent. That's pinpoint laser by DK. Got a little lucky because Mabel had made that cut, was actually about to come back under. The cut had developed. She was way too deep, but DK didn't care. He went, nah, that's perfect. Put her about 5 meters back in front of her. So despite picking up late, she had to change direction once again. So Locko wanted it. And that's when Mabel said, yep, okay, I'll go. And then DK saw it and went, yeah, that's good enough. And in the speed dealers, had enough vision to see Mabel streaming free, got the goal. So it's now... Do we call it game point now?
I believe so. I think one of the game advisors should signal. There we go.
Dabs, yeah, right.
There you go, yep.
There you go, game point.
Not that one, the
Not
other
that
one.
one. So Ruben is advising that it's for men.
Yes.
I'm getting there. But I'm very slow with this boomer, but I'm getting there. I'm starting to, you know.
Can't quite see him.
Signals have only been
Can't
in
quite
for
see him
about
on the
5
screen.
years.
He's put his hands down. But it is game point, I believe is what it's called.
All right. 8-6, still half time over in the other game.
Half time was slightly shorter than the point previous there was.
Yeah, exactly. What's the biggest comeback you've ever seen at a tourney?
Remember the biggest comeback I was a part of, on the wrong side though.
Which one?
Nationals in 2011, I think. You were there.
I didn't play 2011.
No, in Queensland.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
but I repress. I repress a
Yeah.
whole bunch of my life.
I've repressed that one. Let's get back to the game.
Okay. All right. Was that against Chile?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't playing that year. That's probably why. Holly Tupper with the disc. Another zone look, another 1-3-2-1. Knight in amongst the dump set. Doesn't want to let it out. They do now get it out.
It's Nichols.
It's Nichols, James Nichols. Goes upstairs over to Fulford, but it gets away from it. Had a little bit of bobble about it. And once again, well, Calaviotis picks it up, drops it, picks it up again. Calaviotis sees Locko streaming through. Fulford gives him a little bit of attention. Locko wants to score the goal. Instead, brings Ash Thornton in really nicely. Nice balanced throw. Ash playing well. She's caught a bunch deep. Calaviotis turns around, spins, tries to hit Newman. Hello, Newman. Can't do it. Shout out to the Newman family, tuning in from around the world. Polly from Texas, I believe, Katie's mum.
Yeah.
Very keen to see.
Listening in, watching today.
Listening in, watching today, watched yesterday.
No. Not every day a team gets named after your daughter, I guess?
No, we're disappointed that Katie wasn't getting enough of a shout. I said, well, it's kind of the team's named after. She's getting a shout out every time we say the team. All right, 1-3-2-1, they're collapsing right in. DK, a really imposing force there, and it forces a throw. It's in.
Play on.
It's a laser.
Yeah.
Now it's either out or in, so...
there is a point.
So this is what frustrates me. So I think Molly Valancourt is reasonably new.
Yes.
But the question she asked, the question was that in. Now you can't. It's not really the plan. If you see it, you think it's out, you call it out.
That's correct. Yes.
That's right.
And then let.
And it was very close, and you could almost. You can mount an argument that if it actually was on the white line, but if you don't see it, I understand why people say it, but.
People get a bit nervous when it's close as well sometimes, most. But if you think it's out, you just got to call it, and then it can be retracted later. Yeah,
but if you don't know...
Yeah, if you don't know, you're right. You just let it play.
And shockingly enough, we have the Krank players saying it's in, and the Helen Newman players saying it's out. But in any case...
Fulford's got the disc.
The disc is now with Fulford. No count. Tupper, unfortunately, tried to get it on the first grab. Tony Castrogano picks it up straight away. He throws the outside speculator. He's looking for Newman, is it? Oh, for Calaviotis. And Newman behind. And Calaviotis stays down now. He's up.
He's all right.
So Newman, as in Katie Newman, with 2 chances to seal it thus far. Sun's starting to get in the eyes of the throwers as well. Some absolute circus stuff going on. I know we can't see it, so don't want to frustrate the viewers, but there is some stuff going on in the other field that you could not organise. Now, back live to Lee. Managing to advance it. Mark Fulford goes the hammer. It catches a little bit of air, but it should be fine. Enough time for James Nichols to get underneath it and grab it. Now to to Tupper. Yeah, Holly Tupper gets a lot of attention from the cup. They collapse right in, back to James Nichols. Really good work. Really fair cup too, because they're crashing in when someone comes, but jumping straight, doing their best to jump straight back when they leave. That is within the rules. Tupper, big sweeping backhand. Lachlan Wise does well to get the D, tries to avoid the contact as best as possible against Mandy Lee. Throws the backhand that should have been a flick. DK to Valancourt, I think it is. And now Castigrano. Now Locko Wise shoots. Valancourt and Newman there. Newman streaming in. And Newman catches the winning goal again, which I think she's done in the first game. And Newman's down. I don't know if she's wrecked or hurt.
No, wrecked.
Wrecked. She's up. Yeah, she's up. She's all right. So, nice way to finish it for Hello Newman. Katie Newman catching the winning goal. I'm pretty sure she did that on the last stream game as well. Really, she's quick. She's got genuine pace. So, it's 8-7 in the other game. We'll just watch a couple of highlights from this game before tuning in for the other game. So, obviously, this game's reached points cap. Hello Newman go through. Krank, their tournament will end here. Knocked out in the pre-quarters. We'll swing around and we'll have a look at Krank versus CAF. We'll try and swing this around a little bit. Yeah, let's swing it around. So we're just going to have a look at a couple of replays. I know we can actually swing straight into the Paradigm versus CAF game. Just watch it here. So Sutas with it. Sutas looks for Hodgson. Hodgson zigged when he should have zagged, but there was enough wind to it. Hodgson puts the flick bomb. Smiley versus Finn. Nice up, good contest, but Smiley gets it over Finn. 8-7 CAF lead. So we'll get the CAF and the CAF sheets up shortly. So Paradigm bringing it in. Moskovich. Nice low release backhand to Mon Island. Mon Island, no mark. Low catch, but Moskovich makes it okay. Moscow over to Smiley. Smiley. Frey was deep, but was putting his hand up. He didn't want it. Moskovich gets free on the dump, and now looks like there's a chat on the mark. Okay, a violation from Smiley. Or called by Simon. Apologies for the big wooden pole in the way. We didn't put it there. It's not a tree. It's a, what is it? It's a telegraph pole.
Yeah, probably need to keep it there.
Knowing our luck, something awesome will happen right behind that pole. Unfortunately, we can still see Finn and Smiley talking about the violation. Be happy for that to be behind the pole. But in the meantime, so it's gone back. Smiley's gone through, wants Joel, gets Joel up the line. Moskovich. Moskovich shoots. He shoots to Delahaye. Delahaye, good pace, grabs it, slows down, has it just outside the end zone line. Smiley relieves him of the disc, goes back to Delahaye. They've got it, it's 8-all.
Nope.
It's a goal. Someone's called it not a goal. Someone else has called it a goal.
It's a goal.
So 8-all the score.
It was from 7-3, wasn't it? Is that right?
Something like that. Wasn't far off it.
Yeah. Paradigm started slow this morning against F-Troop as well. They were down 9-2.
They were putrid this morning.
And they got it back to 11-13, but couldn't finish it off.
They were awful. So relatively some fresh faces on both these teams, and pressure's going to start becoming an issue. Be interesting to see who adapts better. Hey, Mike, if possible, can you just let us know if you're playing a replay? Because we can't turn the thing around. All right, so high stakes, 8-all. Paradigm coming out on D. The pull from Cowan is a good one. Sudas is going to sit under it. Sudas has it. Goes to M. Hodgson. Hodgson, it looks like a matched defense, one-on-one. Holly Reeve gets it out. It's a late one, but makes it work. Goes to Belle Lamb. Belle, she's got a high count now. She wants to stick it on a high count. And Cowan's got 2 to deal with, but Hodgson held his own. And Cowan's gonna, yeah. There's a stall out. Here it is. Here's the contested stall. There was a high count. We'll see if we can get a timer on the high count.
Can we do that?
Oh, Mike can do anything, mate.
Yeah, he's great, Mike.
So it looks like a contested stall. So at best it's coming back. Unless, no, Louise is going to hold her ground. She thinks she had the stall.
Great catch by Hodgson to keep it alive.
Oh, big one. Big one. But it did seem, I know everyone counts too quick, but it did seem like it went for a while.
Mm.
Lamb now, she does it again, this time inside. And again to Hodgson, but this time he had to go downstairs rather than up. Couldn't hold it. So Cowan picks it up, goes the inside out flick, shows a little bit of air, and it goes over Louise Gertzel's head. 8.6 seconds, so still quicker than 10, but not too far off, really, yeah. So Hodgson being marked by Frey. Puts it up for Karamar. Karamar's just a sick unit. Now the girls break, and Louise Gertzel gets it down. I think it was Lamb that they were shooting for. It was Belle Lamb. And Jared Cowan over to Declan Frey, to Camden Dunn, back to Declan Frey, threw it behind him. That's a heartbreaker. Declan Frey tapping in.
Bristol.
Yeah. Don't expect anything different from Declan. And then Hodgson goes for some kind of brilliance that didn't actually look that great.
Knows the rules, Declan.
Does he?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So this was Caro. So Camden Dunn.
Look at that.
Had a look, but Karamar just unreal. Then goes and throws the break. Holly Reeve did all right as well to have a shot into the end zone. Jared Cowan looks for Declan, and guess who pops up and throws the goal? It's Karamar to Ben Sudas. It was a throw into the stack. I don't know if it was to Declan Frey or Georgia Camden Dunn.
He got a tip on it, didn't he? And
yeah,
Mark caught it.
He set it up. Let's have a look at it on the replay. It was probably to it was to Declan, but he was going streaming out on the outside rather than towards the disc. That's a heartbreaker.
A few hamstring swings by Paradigm. I'm sure it's the right time.
Yeah. Surely they are all way too young to be going, oh, my body's sore. You're 12 years old, guys.
If your legs aren't warmed up at 9-8 in the fourth game.
Yeah. All right, so Singh, Falls, Delahaye, Island, Baring, Hop, and Apostle are the 7 on the offensive line for Paradigm.
A little bit of a crowd here, Moz, watching the excitement of the last game, final game of the day.
Yeah, last game of the day, only game on at the moment. Hope gets it, goes to Falls, Falls back to Hope. Junk look from Caff. Falls and Hope. Oh, no! Heartbreaking. Hope picked it up a little bit too late. There was a bit more pace on it than there should have been. Now Reese gets it, scores the goal, easy goal. Helen Epstein with the goal. That's 2 easy ones, and just like that, all of Paradigm's hard work sees them now undone to 10-8. Just a couple of small things. Is that nerves, Boo-Boo? Is it skills? Like what?
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't done these guys any favours by coming and watching.
No,
it's almost like they knew now they're being live streamed.
Yep. Yeah, nerves, I imagine.
So you've coached a bit. So as you see here, Hope just sat for a second, thought he would attack it. Didn't know whether to go forward and attack it or sit back and let it fall, but went over his head.
Once you start thinking about the end of the game, you don't start doing things naturally.
So how do you, I mean, you've coached. How do you train towards the end of a game? Those nerves creep in. Do you just have to be in that situation? Do you have to be there before you learn how to deal with it? Or are there things that you can do when you train, when you're playing scrimmages, that can try and emulate that kind of situation?
Oh, look, there are definitely things you can do when you train, but nothing beats experience. And the more you play, the better you get at these things. And you can do your best as a coach or a team with those scenarios, but it's never the same unless you're in it. So,
well,
yeah, these guys are pretty young paradigm, I believe. Is that right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so they'll get better.
Yeah. So
see how they go this time.
You're saying they can chalk it up to a learning experience if it all goes south.
Sure.
Nice pull, good hang time, not particularly deep though. But does land in the corner that they're forcing, so White's going to force falls. It's going to go to Ash Evans. Now, Ash Evans is a legit jet. He's a star. But he's let the count get a little high. Lovely bid. Who was that flying through? And unfortunately, Claire O'Reilly turns it over, and now White. So now a chance. Call back here. This might be a contested stall. It is a contested stall. And I think the decision has to be made here, doesn't it? Because the turn came on the throw after.
It was a completed throw,
yep.
so yes, yeah.
But it was a lovely bid from... not sure who it was. I thought it was Karamara initially, purely because it's a...
It was M. Sutton. Is it M. Sutton? Sutton, it was.
Oh, right. There you go.
Number 20.
M. Sutton. Sick bid.
Yeah. Did well to catch it.
All right, so what's happening here? It looks like it's going to be a turn.
Yeah, uncontested that was, wasn't it?
7.6. So again, in the realms of what you consider fair, maybe a bit on the quick side.
That's a bit quick. That's about 3/4 of a full count, was.
Yeah. I think they will be calling it a turn. Oh, they're going to let this go. Okay, so Hodgson's going to retract his...
Yeah, retract his call, yeah.
Retract his call.
Yeah. And the intercept counts then, yeah.
All right, so all players just getting up to speed with it. Thankfully, the poll hasn't cheated us out of too much. Would have been a shame if we did get to see that bid through the poll. White. Oh, we didn't get to see the bid through the poll. I've just been told, sorry. All right. Holly Reeve to Karamar. And Hodgson's gone, but Ash has gone with him, and there is a turn. So now Ash, I don't know why Ash Evans isn't sprinting deep. And Rodney now at the disc. Eventually, now has the disc. Gets the inside flick. Lovely little inside flick to Anna Kastner, but unfortunately another turn. So we're seeing why there is a bit of time between points. There's an injury call. M. Hodgson coming off a bit tender. Not sure about his socks, Boo-Boo. What do you reckon? They're different.
I thought they were all blue from a distance, but they're not, are they?
No. It's got kind of a Western theme about them.
Yeah.
So I don't think Paradigm have elected. No, they have elected. Falls is going to take a seat, and Moscovich is going to come on. We have time cap, so we'll play this and add one. What did I miss?
Okay. Left Joel hanging, I think. Wanted a bit of a high five.
Oh, good. Karamar being marked by Georgia Camden Dunn. Gets the break backhand away. Sudis back through to Marta to Reeve. Now Max. Max Maney gets it through. Paradigm starting to lock down the pressure now, but there's a big call. All right, back to Max. No, sorry, this is White. White goes upstairs with the hammer. No. Can't complete. Players stand, look around, so either there's a call or all just buggered. No, they're buggered. Jumping up. think showed a little bit of concern for a player that stayed down, but thankfully she's back up. She's all right. All right, let's do this again, Paradigm say. Ash Evans gets under nicely on Sudis. Sudis no slouch. Ash Evans, legit jet. Camden Dunn gets back for the dump. Catches it, throws a nice wide one. Joel Moscovich, good grab. Joel throws the break backhand to Rodney. Jared Cowan, inside flick, but just can't connect with Kastner again.
Struggling to get over halfway, Paradigm.
They are. Cowan failing to connect a couple of times now, finding it tough. It's a kind of throw, day one, game one. You might see it connected, but they've got heavy legs. Holly Reeve gets it to White. White continues the break side action. Gets it back.
There it is.
And
high release flick.
Is it Karamar?
Yep,
of course it was.
Yep.
Of course it was. So we're going to get a game to 12.
That was a high release flick then, Moz.
Was it?
No excitement from you?
No, I'm not big on him. It's, who was it? Pat Thorpe is big on the high release flick. A couple of people.
We'll get a replay of it, I think.
White sits. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. It can work. Where's the high release flick back in your day, Boo Boo?
Frowned upon.
Not one you'd put in your toolbox? Or you'd advocate for being in the toolbox?
I wouldn't know where to start to throw one of those things.
Was there a throw that you did throw back in the day that now has just kind of gone the way of the dinosaur, just been mothballed? Certainly used less.
Not really. You don't see many, a few guys around my time could throw hammers that would sit. So I'd throw a hammer and it would just float in front of you. Don't see that much anymore.
Teach Locko Wise, mate. He'd love that one. So, Paradigm are going to win this. They're going to do it on their D. 12-8 to CAF. Sorry, 11-8 to CAF.
4 in a row they need.
Which is exactly what they did when they played F-Troop.
Okay. Not quite. Didn't quite make it.
Well, they put 4 in a row in.
Yes, you're right.
But at that point, it was way too far gone. So, tournament on the line. F-Troop, nice. Outside in, roller pull. Got to put it in front of Hope, and it's going to roll out the side.
No, out the back.
Well, close enough to the corner. So we got Hope running, going to the disc, and Roman falls as he's dumped. Finn's leading the zone as the runner.
Bit of a pressure spot here.
It is. They don't like it. So no clearing sideline by CAF. And Roman Falls has thrown a bit of a pie, and it's been caught, and there is the game, unfortunately. As Boo Boo, as we said, it's that kind of stuff where your throws, you just tighten up a little bit when it's, game point than you did on the first point. And that's not necessarily something you can train.
No, it's not. It was a good first throw, but yeah, that swing just, it's got to be spot on, doesn't it?
So disappointing for Paradigm, especially given how much they grinded, but it's at the pointy end of these games where the experience and, you're having people like Sudis, Reece Stewart's been around a few years, Em Hodgson's been around a few years, Karamar, I don't know, she's been around a few years, but she certainly plays like it.
Certainly does.
And Holly Reeve, a bit more experience to bring it home. So do you know who you play out of these guys now? Or will F-Troop play out of these guys?
No.
No.
I have no idea of the draw yet. I don't know I don't know the quarterfinal matchups at all.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Just before we do, Booba, who's your pick for the tournament? You don't want to say Frisky, but it looks like you will.
Yeah, you're right, Frisky. I don't want to, but yeah.
If it's not Frisky, or who do you think will be playing in the final?
Marakai Frisky, you'd assume, would be the
Right.
final. Yeah, which will be a pretty exciting final, so that'll be good.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining me, Booba. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
No, Joel, thank you for having me, Moz. I hope I didn't drop the professionalism by too much.
I don't think you can go any lower. Certainly from a commentary standard, not the production.
No, production's great.
Production's spot on.
I've got some kids to bath, so I better get out of here.
All right, thank you, Boo Boo. All right, we'll leave it there. So, CAF get up 13-8 over Paradigm, and Hello Newman was successful over Who did they play? Krank. It's been a long day. Hello Newman, successful over Krank. So their days continue tomorrow, as will our coverage, where we'll see the pointy end. We'll see some quarterfinals, the semis, as well as the final. Thank you very much. This is the Ulti TV crew signing off for day 2 at AMUC 2017.
Ulti.tv